Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we're going to take a quick garden tour. It is the end of January, the first part of February, and I have bulbs popping up and even some blooms on a few of them. I'm so excited about that. And another thing that I want to share with you that I'm super excited about, and I'm sure most of you guys follow other YouTube channels like I do, but for years and years before I even developed my own garden, and I learned lots of things from her, almost everything actually, and we have very similar taste, is Laura, and she's got a channel called Garden Answer, and she asked a lot of people to submit images of her gardens, and on the third garden inspiration she put my pictures onto her garden, which I was just so happy, and I could just dance around. I was at work and I could have just danced around in the hallway. I was super excited. So I'll link that video that she posted, my images of my garden and what she had to say about my garden. It was just breathtaking. I don't know why I just got so tickled over that, but anyways, that was very exciting for me. And I'm going to turn the camera around, and I just did some pruning on the crepe myrtles, and I have another video coming out talking about grass care for winter, especially for warm grass, Bermuda and Zoysia. So make sure you look out for those videos. And I'm just going to show you what my garden looks like when it's all pruned up. There's still lots of things I need to do. It's not perfect. I still have to get out of here and do lots of work. I do work full time. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am zone 8, so I still have lots of things to do. I do ultrasound for full time, so I just had to get out here and do things on my own spare time. So let me turn the camera around and we'll get this garden tour started. So this is my back porch, the back of the house here. My living room's back there. It's going to rain the next 4 to 5 days, so I have all these pillows piled up right there so they don't get wet, so ignore some of that. But I am going to have a video on how I stained this concrete for you guys as well. And I have to show you my beautiful Sasha girl right there. So coming over in this corner, we have a magnolia tree, and everything in my garden is going on 3 to 4 years. My husband made me this cute little shepherd's hook because I put these bad boys on one of those regular shepherd hooks and it just like came tumbling over. So I do have a little bit of winter burn right here on my sweet olives right there that I'm gonna have to trim those up just a tad bit in the springtime. And I already have some daylilies coming up right here, so you can see that new foliage. That looks great. And I have some new foliage coming up on this Gara right here. And this is tall phlox, so that's starting to come up as well. And butterfly bush that I've got to get trimmed in the springtime. It just looks woody right now. And this is some strawberries, a strawberry planter in a cute little container made from Michael Kors. And these are the roses that I got pruned back. This is Graham Thomas. It's supposed to be a yellow rose, but it looks more peachy to me. But this is my prune job on all these roses right here. I have lots of David Austin roses in my garden. And another one right there. And this is my water feature that I just have all the water out and turned over, so that doesn't get cracked or nasty, since there's really no need to have that going on this year. And then looking down this garden right here from the side, this is my neighbor's house in the garden. This is our lake house. And then I don't know if you guys can see way over that way is the lake. You see the water back there? So I have 3 planters, concrete containers right here, and all of these have hyacinths in them. These right here are some sweet little violas that look absolutely stunning right now. If you look a little closer, can you see where the bulbs are starting to come up here? One here, here, and right there. So those are hyacinths in there. This right here is the Wadula, so you definitely don't want to prune that back right now because it blooms on old wood, and we don't want to cut our blooms off. They are going to look gorgeous in the springtime. And I did have this whole thing lined right here, but I wanted something different, so I pulled some of them up, and I only have 4 of them left right now. And this is a Japanese Yoshio cryptomera tree, and they are getting quite tall, as you can see. My fear is that it's going to absolutely take over this whole entire garden. My husband says we can just always bring it out more, but I think I'm just going to try to keep it trimmed up down here so everything else will bloom around it. And when I was planting these bulbs in the late fall, someone had mentioned that those great big bulbs that were like huge were paperwhites, and they were absolutely correct because look, that's what we have. So I'm not sure if they were in the blend, that Scilly blend that they sent to me, or if I got the wrong thing. I absolutely have no idea. But look at these sweet little blooms on here. Isn't that just so pretty? And I love to see things what they look like in the center of the flower. So pretty. And I need to cut this grass back, so it's time for me to do that now. And I had, look at this sweet sedum right there. Isn't that still pretty? These are Nepeta, the Walker's Low, so I just got all those trimmed back as much as I could. Let's see what else we have in here. Of course, this is the hoe drift where I put all those bulbs, what I thought were Easter flowers, but not so sure now. And this one right here has a little yellow bloom on it. Look at that. It's just so tiny though. It's like as big as my fingernail. So I don't know, maybe it'll be a happy mistake. What do you guys think? Do you think it was a happy mistake? And you can see some of the evergreens that I have over here as well on the other side of the garden. This obelisk is bare now, so I had an annual on that, those black-eyed Susans. So I do need to dig that up because it will not come back. You can see part of my drip system right there. This magnolia right here was planted several years after the other ones that I have at the very end. And you can see these sweet blooms. These bulbs coming up as well. These are going to be purple hyacinths. The deer nibbled those off. So I'm really scared what the deer are going to do to my garden this year. These are the sweet little plant tags that I bought, and I marked them with pencil, and they're supposed to, this is the double candy corn, and I have some new foliage coming out on that one. And when we got that really cold spell, I should not have pruned it back, but I just whacked it off, not even forgetting that it's a shrub. But oh well, it'll be okay. And this is my lilac. Nothing new on that yet. And then I have 2 more Wadulas. They're the wine and roses, and they'll have hot pink blooms come on it in the springtime. And there's the other drift of bulbs that I planted as well. again, same thing, so they'll be all consistent. And let me just show you this one garden here. I call this my cottage garden because I have lots of different plants in that. And then I have a birdhouse up here with a couple of just hangers, wrought iron hangers. Hanging basket here, some wind chimes there. Some more of the paper whites right here, trying to bloom out. So yes, I guess those big bulbs, and I do apologize, and I need to find out who that was that had mentioned that. And these are more David Austin roses right here. That's Olivia, Celebration, and another Olivia. And this is Shropshire Lad. It's a climbing rose, and I do need to prune that up just a little bit. I'm learning on climbing roses that you just do the lateral canes and just the tip tops of just get a little bit of trim. But I feel like that they bloom more on old wood from what I'm learning. So I may want to intertwine it like this. So I need to work on that one. And then on the other side over there, these are my Rose of Sharons. I did not prune that back yet, but I did prune this one. You could see where it's got all the foliage, all these little spent, I don't know what you call these things, little holes, I guess, some type of holes. But anyways, that's what it would look like once it gets pruned. That one's pruned, not pruned. And then that right there is Hydrangea. It's a pink hydrangea. These are my Nellie Stephen holly trees that I pruned the bottom up here. I have covering on it. I got a video that's coming out tomorrow about what this yellow-bellied sapsucker did to my tree. So that, I think that's a cute video. But anyways, I trimmed those up into like little lollipops. You could see some of the new foliage had got burnt on that. So in the springtime, when I'm like have the thread of frost completely done, that's my bird station. And this is my Yoshio cherry tree. And it's got some really cute buds coming out on that you could see. Let me see if I could get up close here. There we go. This back here is not my land. I wish it was. This is just all common space. I do live in a subdivision. I only live on 1/4 of an acre of a lot. So that is what this looks like on this side. I knew that we were up here on this hill, and that's why I planted a lot of these evergreen shrubs up through here. Those are junipers. On the side there, I have 2 different types of junipers. And I have lots of daylilies. Let's walk up here. Lots of daylilies all the way through here. That is tall phlox. And you can see where I need to still like get pruning on this nepeta right there. I had some that I pruned and some that I did not. Daylilies are starting to come up. That one I did prune. And these are these holes that I told you I need to get off right here. I'm going to take that back by 1/3. Still need to prune that as well. Butterfly bush. can see some of the yellowing on this tree just from winter burn. That's normal on this type of tree. And those cute little spring bulbs already blooming. All right, let's make our way back around. It is time to prune your roses. Once you start seeing new growth, like that right there, then it's time to prune. I feel like it's early this year for some reason. And I have some dahlias, oops, in there. Hopefully they'll come back. We normally don't get that cold spell like we did this year. This is what the garden, I'm trying to get my shadow out. This is what the garden looks like on this end. There's the rose garden. You can see right here, this is the Oakland holly. Do you see how nice and green those are? And this one is like a tricolor. Well, I guess it like lost iron, but I've been trying to add iron, but it's been slowly like from the bottom up. You can see dark green, a little bit darker green, and then light on top. So it's like absorbing from bottom all the way to the top. So that's pretty interesting. This is my raised bed. I need to get some of that grass clippings out of there. I told my husband he could put some, but I didn't think he'd put all of it on there. And this is just a section of my rose garden. I have 4 sections right here with a circle in the middle. And I have some alliums that are coming up nicely. And I did not get this one fully pruned, so you could tell like the difference between this rose right here. You see where I got canes going everywhere versus that cane that's nice and clean and open. So you can tell the difference, why a good prune does a world of good on these. I got 3 more sweet alliums right there. These are sprinter boxwoods. And this is just a little bit of winter burn on top there. And that's what the fire pit area looks like. I have a Galloway urn right there. Like I said, you could start to really see some of that bronzing color on that one, but that's normal as well. This section right here is called Gabrielle Oak. They do have like a little bit of a darker stem on them, so they're not so much as green like the other roses that I have. But they're nice and healthy. I have 5 roses in here. They are really thorny, but just kind of giving you an idea of how I prune my roses here. And they have been in the ground for going on 3 years. I have some phenomenal lavender in that pot right there. I love concrete accents such as this, and lighting. To me, that's really important. I need to get me some new cushions. I don't know if the birds are splitting them open or what, but need to get new cushions. Just to show you what the bad is. I need to clean this out. I'll do that today. Looks pretty sad. But I really wanted to show you this Galloway urn. That's why I headed over here. So I can still trim some of this up. You can see how I've got some dead here. Just need to trim that up. Trim some of this dead right here. This Dusty Miller didn't do great. And then I have some heuchera. It still has done pretty well. This is one type of heuchera, and this is another one right here. But yeah, I thought this looked good until I got up close, but I need to work on that a little bit. And firewood for our fire pit. And I got some new roses for this area. Still have some limbs I need to get out from my crepe myrtle. But this is Alexandra Kent, and I do really like this rose, but I'm going to put this rose into my cottage garden over there, and I'm going to put a new rose right here called Munstead Wood. And I believe Munstead Wood's going to be more upright and bushy instead of really long canes. I think this type of rose will look better in the cottage garden. And this is what our crepe myrtle looks like after we just trimmed that up this past weekend. I have a video on that. And this is my other section of my David Austin roses. This one is Boscobel. This one's probably my favorite. But look at all that new foliage already. It's like, you want it to come, but it's still kind of crazy and feels like it's early. And then of course, looking up at the house, this is the dormant grass. I just did a video on that. My dream is to put window boxes there. And this right here is the hydrangea garden. This view right here is what one of the pictures that I submitted to Laura with Garden Answer that she put on her last video. This is from Unique Stone, and her name is Grace. I do have magnolia tree, emerald green arborvitaes, little lime hydrangeas, and I have several here, so I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in this area, so I'll probably have a total of 12. Let's see my shadow. Total of 12 or so little lime hydrangeas. I chose the little lime hydrangeas because they only get about 4 to 5 feet tall, not 6 to 8 feet tall. So that's why I chose the little limes. And when I pruned these back, I took them back by 1/3. And I want to get these stems really nice and sturdy. I don't see any new foliage coming out on these yet. Still just a little early. You can see the plant stands that I have if you don't want them to droop over into your grass. I missed a few spent blooms there. And this is another little lime just in a standard form tree, and I need to cut those spent blooms off as well. I'll get to that. And this is a Daisy May. This is a Pennicinum that's never done anything. I need to move that right there. I need to remove that somewhere else. I don't think it gets enough sun. And then I have some peonies in here. They're starting to show their little faces. I did move all the mulch back right there because I learned that they need a cold period, and I have a video about that as well. You can see my lighting. And then look at these sweet babies as well. More sedum. I have 3 in here, and I would love to have more. This one is kind of tiny, but it's starting to poke its head out. And I still have some spent blooms here on this butterfly bush. This is my favorite butterfly bush. The blooms are just really big and fluffy, purple. I love those. Butterflies do really like them. And then I have 2 more Nellie Stevens that are just pruned up like a topiary. If you want this look, make sure whenever you buy something, these were about 6 to 7 feet tall when I bought them. And I believe they were in like a 30 gallon. That's a really good size to plant. The hole is not like super wide, very manageable. But you know, I had foliage all the way down, right? When you buy these Nellie Stevens. So look underneath the foliage and look up into it if you want this look, and try to get like one main stem. Now there was other stems, like smaller stems that we had to cut off. But if it like has one large stem, you'll know that that will be able, you could work with that type of tree. I was just really lucky. All 4 of mine were like that. And I watch another YouTube channel, Linda, I can't say her last name. Her name's Linda. And she just takes a chance on pruning the stuff up like this. So I was like, what the heck? I'm like, if I'm not gonna like it, it'll just grow right back, right? So ended up turning out cute. And this is just a pot, and I've got like an assortment of different bulbs in here. Alliums, tulips, hyacinths, and then I overplanted them with pansies, and I love this moss on top. You can see it's pushing up here, and I'm pretty sure that's the allium. But this just kind of hides the dirt. I think it gives it a clean, soft look. Just love it. Need to get this foliage back. These are the Japanese anemones that got fried. I have another cute little thing from Little Goose from Unique Stone as well. And then my lemon coral sedum didn't quite fare out, but I think it's gonna come back and be fine. That is actually an annual, but a perennial for people that are in 7B and higher. Where's my Sasha girl again? Sasha. We just had this paver sidewalk put in not too long ago. And when I had this put in, I had them dig up all the grass over here so I could do this as a side garden. You could see some winter burn on that. Planted this one last year. I'm hoping that I'll get some new growth on that. That's a button bush. And then another hedge, love. This is my favorite shrub that's evergreen, are these sprinter boxwoods. This was a shepherd's hook that I tried to put those heavy hanging baskets on that just did not do the job. So I just bought some cute little stuff to give it some accent there. I have violas all the way down, and they're interplanted with tulips, a tulip blend from Colorblends. So you can see them coming up here and there. I have like close to 300 tulips in this area, so it should be gorgeous. And a camellia. This is white by the gate camellia. And when we got that hard freeze, all of these just got fried. I need to get those off. But look, I have one that budded out there. I had 3 of these, one died. So I have still 2 left. This one, and then I have another one down here on the very end. I really do like this color on these violas. Such a pretty soft color. brings happiness this time of year. And there's the faucet where I have all my drip that's going to be hooked up. I have videos about that. I love my drip. And this is Jacob's ladder. It didn't really get affected by the frost much. It looks like a fern. I really think that's a cute plant. And then these are my hellebores. I've got a cute little bud there. I think I bought 2 of each. I'm not sure what this one is. It's not budding out yet. I don't see any. Oh, yeah. I see a bud in there. It might be the same. There's my bigger drip tubing right there. It's a 1/2 inch drip. And this right here is a 1/4 inch drip. And I have another camellia. It's apple blossom. And this is a young tree, so had some blooms on it, but I don't know if I'm gonna see any new ones on that one. Sprinter boxwoods that are gonna hopefully end up being a hedge when they fill out. I have tulips all in here that are starting to pop up. And this is my mess. Sorry. I need to give this to one of my neighbors that wants those. This is my other white by the gate. I have a little bud. This reminds me of an ice cream cone. And I have a grass there that I had in a container that I saved to replant. And this is an aqua pot that I have just right here in the front of the garage. I have lots of bulbs in here. And of course these sweet violas as well. But you can see all the sweet tulips coming up in this container right here. So that's going to be exciting. I love these aqua pots right here, especially if you don't have an area that has drip. And this is a little side garden. These are a different type of sprinter. They're not a sprinter boxwood. Not been really happy with those, but they're okay. Got a lot of winter damage on these. I need to cut a lot of this back. I just had not had time to get up here. I'm so sorry. But you can see my bad and ugly side of my garden. These are cat's pajamas. I need to prune those all the way back. This is a spiral juniper. I do have tulips all in these containers. I need to get my Valentine's Day stuff out. But I don't really see anything growing up in here yet. Not yet. I have 2 more containers here. And then I have lots of tulips all the way in this front part. So this is a concrete border right here that's just stained. And this is where I had all my super petunias this past summer. So I have lots of violas right here. And I actually just dug the violas up, like completely up, put all my tulips down, and then replanted my violas is what I ended up doing. But I've got about 250 or so tulips in this area as well. And they're all coming up. Looking great. And then I have them all the way around the corner here. This is a hardy hibiscus. Now I do need to come back and cut this all the way down because this will grow on new wood. So all the new growth will come up, and I was told, and I guess I do know from experience, this will be your last perennial that will come up, or shrub that will come up. You'll thinking it's like not living, and then all of a sudden when it starts to warm up it will start to produce some foliage. Now this front garden I am not happy with, and I'm going to do some redesign with this. I'm actually going to take that azalea out, and this is Ying and Yang Viburnum, and I don't like that they had my boxwood hedge and that they had these spiral boxwoods, because I think they're more attractive and I want them to be my main pop into this garden. And I do have a Japanese tree right there that I need to get all that dead foliage off as well, and just trim it up a little bit, and you can see all the dead foliage onto my mulch right there too. So if I come back, it just looks out of place, and I like symmetry. So if I look at this, and this is the middle of my garden right there because you can see my windows. So this Japanese maple is the center point. And then do you see how it's just off-centered? I think if I had that one and this one over here, it would be fine. But I love that as well, and I like that more. So what I'm going to do is take those two shrubs out and these two shrubs out, and I'm going to plant them on the side of the house over there. And I'm not even absolutely sure if I might gift this azalea to somebody. I think I like some other azaleas a little bit better, honestly. But excited for this spring show coming up. And this is a climbing rose called Lady of the Lake right here. And this is just another holly tree that was originally here, and that was the only tree that I kept in this flower garden. So let's come over to the side, and this side garden over here is going to be my next main project. So it doesn't get a lot of sun in this area, as you can tell, and this hill is starting to erode, which is not good. But what I'm going to do is plant this all up in shrubs. So we're going to put like I have a border down there, I don't know if you could see it, that is like an iron metal. I'm going to continue that border like all the way down here where my property line ends, and then come up around here. And then I'm going to what I'm going to do is the no dig method. I'm going to put down cardboard and then put down a really thick of compost and then a really thick layer of mulch as well. That way I won't have to dig any of the sod up over here, which I don't really have that much sod growing at all. It's like it just doesn't get enough sun from these two houses right here. So that's what I'm going to do. This looks green because it's that poa grass. And do you see, like, of course this is my neighbor's side, but this is not her fault because they just moved in. But that is the poa grass right there. And you see all those seed heads? So that is going to create a mess if we don't tackle this soon. So that needs to be fixed as well. But that's my next project for this year. And I have a standard hydrangea tree right there and another one down here that I'm going to help prune together with you guys down there. And I have a gorgeous, I thought it was a shrub rose, but evidently it's not. Maybe it's not a climber, but a little bit more vigorous than that. I have not pruned that back at all. And this rose right here, I'd like to train these canes to go all the way up here and across. And then this one, I want to get a trellis to go on that side of the house there and train it up onto the trellis. So I got lots of projects to do. And this is just a little look of the neighborhood here. You can also raise your canopies up on these trees, so when you walk underneath the sidewalk, you're not hitting your head. Not very many of my neighbors are doing that. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed my winter garden tour, and I just cannot wait until all these sweet bulbs start to bloom for spring, and then even looking forward and dreaming about what I'm going to do for the summertime. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.